All contracts are agreements, but not all agreements. Contracts are largely either in writing or orally made or inferred. Go and engage a lawyer to charge you, some exorbitant. I can teach you to prepare the contract all by yourself. So how do you prepare your own agreement? In this video, we teach you how to prepare a valid contract without the help of a lawyer. I'm Godwin Salasi Dakbo, and this is Make It Legal.
Make it legal.
So you want to prepare your own contract. You don't want to go and engage a lawyer to charge you, some exorbitant legal fees before your agreement is prepared. You want to do that by yourself. I can teach you to prepare the contract all by yourself. Now, there are some things you need to know first of all. First is, what is an agreement or what is a contract? A contract is an agreement between two or more parties with an intention that it is legally binding. So it is an agreement between two or more persons with the intention that this agreement or arrangement they have in place would have a legal binding effect. If it is not intended to have a legal binding effect, it will not be regarded as a contract. The other thing you need to note is that contract as an agreement involves one person making an offer. The law calls that person an offeror, and one person accepting the offer, and the law calls the one who is accepting the offer the offeree. So when you offer to someone the terms of delivering something or the terms of entering into an agreement, and the person accepts it, you have an agreement just from there. But that agreement will have a legal binding effect when other factors are in place, and you'll get to learn all of those factors in some separate video. But today we are focusing on how you can actually draft your own contract without having a lawyer do it for you. Now, not all contracts you can actually draft if you are not a lawyer, because some contracts require certain specific methods that the law requires of you. So if you don't know about those methods, you cannot validly make that contract. And again, some contracts are required to be prepared by only lawyers. For those contracts, you don't have the power or the legitimacy of right to prepare them by yourself. The contract I want to teach you to prepare yourself is what we may call a simple contract. Contracts are largely either in writing or orally made or inferred from the conduct of the parties. So if you put up a conduct which suggested that you agreed to something, that conduct could be viewed as an agreement between the two of you. And you could actually also have a contract by actually writing it down and then signing it and having it witnessed by parties. So that can also be another way you can have a contract. The other way is to make it orally. You tell Kofi Mensah to deliver to you 20 bags of rice within this day at this price, and he agrees to it just by word of mouth. And it was in the presence of Kweku Menu. That communication to him verbally and his acceptance of it also verbally in the presence of a witness constitute a contract that the law will enforce. So how do you prepare your own agreement or your own contract and ensure that it's valid? There are 10 things I think you should know if you are going to have a very valid contract. So before we take the 10 things that I think you should know or that can guide you to prepare your own agreement or contract, let me just mention to you once again that there are some contracts that by law must be in writing, and there are some that need not be in writing. The ones that must be in writing include contracts that are affecting transactions in land, contracts affecting transfer or conveyance of an interest in land. So if you are buying a land or you are renting a room for more than 3 years, those ones, there must be a written contract before the law will consider it to be effective and valid. But for a number of contracts, like contract for sale of goods, and in law we say goods, we refer to any movable property like a chair, a table, a car, office equipment and things like that. Those ones are called goods, and you can actually contract to buy or sell them without having an actual written contract. You could just have an oral contract or do so by conduct, and that will be sufficient. And when the law talks about written contract, it's not only referring to the one that you have written in Microsoft Word and print it out. No, when you send an email to someone and the person also agreed to it, and that communication, it can be sufficient as an agreement. Or you send a WhatsApp chat to the person that you intend to buy this good. The person said, okay, I agree to sell it to you. How many copies do you want? I said, I want 5 copies. Okay, where should I deliver it to? Or when should I deliver it? And the person gives you specifics. And once the two of you agree and it is in records like that, it's on the WhatsApp chat, it can be construed as an agreement in writing. So that is what you need to know. So what I am focusing on here is how to do an actual writing, the one you do in the Microsoft Word, print it out and sign and have parties witness it. That is what I'm trying to teach you to do. So let's get to know the 10 things that you must note when you are preparing such a contract. And once you know these 10 things, I believe you can draft your whole contract. These simple contracts, you can draft them without the help of a lawyer. So let's get to number 1. Number 1 is that you should clearly identify the parties. Now, the first and primary thing we talk about when we are discussing contracts is the parties to the contract. Who and who are the ones that this agreement binds, and what are their names? Where do they stay? So we identify clearly the party. When we talk about the parties here, we're referring to, is a person a minor? Is a person an adult? Is a person a natural person as a human being? Is a person a legal person as in a company or an entity, a stool, a family, a group? You need to identify the party first of all. So get to know first who the parties to the contract are. The second thing you need to note is the capacity and description of the parties. Now, every party to a contract must enter into that contract with a particular capacity. What do I mean by capacity? Capacity here refers to the ability to be legally able to do that thing the person is doing. Does the person have the legal authority to be able to enter into that contract? That defines their capacity. If you are entering into a contract or an agreement with someone, you need to know the capacity with which they are willing to enter into that contract. Are they entering the contract as a managing director of a company limited by shares? Are they entering into the contract as individual persons who are disposing of the property you want to buy? Are they entering into the contract in their personal capacity or with their spouse, or as a leader of a group, or as a transaction that they are authorized by a board of directors to undertake? So you need to define the capacity. So we often look out for some things when we want to know the capacity of the persons involved. First of all, you get their names and their position or occupation. If it's a company, we need to know which role the person plays in that company. Is the person the managing director, or the person is just a director? That must be well ascertained. So once you know that, the positions oftentimes will reveal the capacity of the party, and then their names. You also know their residential address. So you have something like Mr. Kweku Menu of house number this and this, managing director of company this and this. You clearly define the capacity within which the party is entering into the contract, and that is very crucial to the legality or effectiveness of the agreement, because without the capacity being well established, chances are that you will enter into the agreement all right, but it will not bind that party that you are intending that it binds. Very important. If you enjoyed this video and you want to encourage us to do more of this video, please subscribe to the channel and click on like, and also share this video to a friend. And we would like to hear what you think of the video. So drop a comment in the comment section and we would read it and reply to you. I'm Godwin Selassie Dapo, and this is Make It Legal.
Make it legal.